This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. I'm Tyson as we get set up to discuss actual huge Oilers news. Breaking about lunchtime today, another day where Ken Holland works through a lunch break and comes through with a big time situation solved for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, one thing that we kind of learned over this past year is the impact that a veteran like Matthias Ekholm can make on the team. Obviously, there was a lot made about losing a guy like Tyson Barrie in the Ekholm trade because of how old Tyson Barrie was and just how many seasons he'd played in the NHL and what that meant to a team that was as young as the Oilers trying to win games like they were. Well, now there was one guy all along that we kept around all season long. We had to make a decision in between sending Matthias Janmark or Derek Ryan to the minors at the start of the year. We sent Janmark down just because Derek Ryan's a great veteran presence to have in the lineup, and he will be around for 2 more years with the Edmonton Oilers today, signing alongside Ken Holland with a 2-year, $900K AAV deal for the Edmonton Oilers. That means biggest thing, he is buriable in the minors at any point without a cap hit penalty to the Edmonton Oilers over the course of the next 2 years. So when I talk about this one being a massive win for the Oilers, this is a massive win for the Edmonton Oilers to secure a very valuable veteran presence, very valuable scorer on this team as well. You think about those couple of hot streaks Derek Ryan had over the course of the year, they were very valuable to the Oilers getting where the Oilers got at times this season. So that's a huge get for us there in terms of just securing a bit more, obviously keeping the veteran impact around and just kind of securing the roster for, again, another 2 years, right? That's kind of become the joke, but also the pattern with Mr. Ken Holland as general manager is it's always 2-year deals for veterans and another 35 plus contract for Derek Ryan this time around for the next 2 years at 900K AAV. So for the Oilers, right at the start of what will be a busy offseason, you know that we've already traded for Jaden Gruby. So that's the one thing that started us off was the fifth round pick going to the Rangers for Jaden Gruby and then getting us going right there to kind of kick things off. But now you've got your first guy coming back from last year's roster in terms of UFA status. Derek Ryan at 900K leaves a ton of money on the table for other players because there was a hometown discount at play. Derek Ryan mentioned that. And as well, too, for the Oilers, you still got to sign Bouchard. You still got to sign McLeod. You still got to sign, and potentially find a top six winger. And oh, by the way, as well, a top tier right defenseman. So there's plenty on the shopping list left. But now your right wing is a little bit more solidified. Derek Ryan also able to play center. So you know that you've got a couple of key pieces of this organization kind of staying around now, right? Jaden Gruby, after the trade, signing the deal, he'll be in Bakersfield next year. And now Derek Ryan, a great addition to this team, whether he is the 12th forward, so he plays when we go 12-6, or whether he's a guy who ends up, playing 40 games this year. At 900K, that's not going to hurt you, and a great guy to plug in case of injury. Now, obviously, this should, I tell you, kind of to calm down the Sam Gagner back to Edmonton talk that we saw crop up a little bit over the course of the weekend, but I guess that's something that we have to consider still as well. Is if you can get a value contract, 775 for Sam. I don't know why you wouldn't take a flyer and bring him back, even if it is just to go down to Bakersfield. You can never have too many great guys like a Sam Gagner, like a Derek Ryan in the organization when you have contracts available for them. So obviously, number one, Derek Ryan's back. That leaves a guy like Bukestad probably on the outs. Klim Kostin's still got to be signed. You got to decide what you're doing with the rest of your bottom six. But I think it's pretty clear now, right? You're going to go Zach Hyman, somebody else on the second line, Raphael Lavoie on the third line, maybe Raphael Lavoie on the second line and somebody else on the third line, don't know. Derek Ryan will be that perfect fit on that fourth line, right wing center position, and away you go, right? Everything else just kind of figures itself out. Warren Foegele probably sticks around. We haven't heard very much trade rumor about Warren Foegele, but I just want to say how awesome it is that we were able to solidify a piece of the organization that realistically we've been missing for a long while. Derek Ryan, when he came to the Oilers, he started slow. There was a lot of questions about should this guy have a job, and there's been throughout the time with the Oilers, Derek Ryan, we could have somebody better in there. And unfortunately for the guys that don't like Derek Ryan has time in and time out proved why you need to have a guy like Derek Ryan around, right? There's always a place for an older guy, whether it be on a junior team, whether it be on a NHL team, an AHL team, that is just there, a pro's pro guy that comes in, does his job, doesn't have a traditional path to the NHL, right? Derek Ryan didn't play until what, he was 4 days shy of 30 or something in the NHL, and just carves out a career after that. I think anybody loves a good journeyman, but Derek Ryan even still hasn't really been a journeyman throughout his career. He's been a guy who starts somewhere, plays there for a while, starts somewhere else, plays there for a while, and then goes somewhere else and plays a little while longer. And that's kind of been the case from Carolina to, I believe, Calgary, and then now Edmonton. So there's been a whole bunch for Derek Ryan over the course of his career, and it's just glad that maybe we get to wrap it up for him. If not, I mean, Derek Ryan's a guy who you just don't know how much longer he's got it, 35 plus contract, but a guy that, hey, you know what, if he's going to continue to be serviceable for you, and a guy who, too, scores 10 goals a season or more, you don't mind having that in your lineup on the fourth line. And I know there's been times where Derek Ryan's had to play third line minutes for the Oilers, but as this team continues to get better year in, year out, Derek Ryan at 900K the next 2 years is not going to hurt you on the fourth line, if not 13th, 14th forward situation. And the key piece that I mentioned off the top two, friends, is the fact that Derek Ryan the big key piece here is he can be a member of the Bakersfield Condors without penalizing you against the cap, right? That $1.15 million is the variable cap hit on the CBA currently, while 900K, that's below that. So 100% variable for the Edmonton Oilers. So Derek Ryan, the hometown discount, everything that you could possibly line up. The Oilers are finally, friends, finally getting the hometown discount mentioned in contract talks. So that in itself is a major victory for our Edmonton Oilers here tonight. So again, it's just one of those things right now is you just celebrate things as they come up. This offseason's been slow. Kicked off with Jaden Gruby, then went quiet. Now we've had Carter Hart, Travis Konechny the past few weeks, and that's really all hope or dreamer talk at this point. But hey, you know what? I got to tell you the news, and that's what I signed up to do, so that's what I do. But today we actually get to talk hard hitting news. Derek Ryan, 2 years, 900K AAV, and a guy who continues to stick around with our Edmonton Oilers for the next 2 years. Don't mind that at all. I don't know what your thoughts on the deal are, but let me know in the comments section below. Right now, I've gotten the 8 minutes out of the video, so I will open it up. If you're watching right now, I know there's about 16 of you. If you want to let me know any of your thoughts on the contract right now, definitely do it, and then I'll try and respond as we let this video go a little bit longer. But friends, I guess if you do like the deal, leave a thumbs up on the video as well as we get this going. But I'll just kind of let you take time to type right now if you've got any questions or answers or anything about this Derek Ryan deal. But I think it's just a massive win for the Oilers, and obviously one of those situations where you love to see it, right? A hometown discount. I keep saying that throughout this video, but I cannot tell you how awesome it is to finally see that for the Edmonton Oilers. We've been begging for that for years, and finally here Derek Ryan does it for us, and now we get a chance to really grow this team going in the offseason and throughout the draft and free agency and see what we can develop into the start of next season. So I don't see anyone with a question right now, so I'm going to double check that and see if we've missed anything. We have not. So I will head on out here right now, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Glad to have you along. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.